according to this theory, benzene cannot be represented either by this first structure or by the second structure, but the actual structure of benzene is hybrid of these two structures. This is what Kekulé has said, and it is confirmed by valence bond theory. So in other words, we can say the exact structure or the true structure of benzene is neither represented by a first structure nor it is represented by second, but it is in between these two somewhere. This imaginary intermediate stage is called as resonance hybrid. And this resonance hybrid has 36 kilocalories per mole of energy, less than any of these two structures. This represents the resonance energy of the molecule. Okay, now according to this resonance hybrid structure of benzene, there are certain properties of benzene explained by this theory. First property is regarding its isomer number. So according to this isomer number, because this is the first objection raised for Kekulé structure. Okay, now in this structure, in this resonance structure, and I will draw this resonance structure of benzene like this. Okay, now according to this is a hybrid of these two, and all the carbon atoms participating in this structure of benzene are equal, or they are equivalent. Since all carbon atoms in benzene are equivalent, there will be no distinction between ortho substituted product. That was the objection raised to Kekulé structure. Hence, only 3 disubstituted products can be formed or are possible in this case. First one is ortho. This is the position, ortho position. Okay, this is meta and this is para. So these are only disubstituted product. Only 3 disubstituted products are possible according to this valence bond theory. This is one of the important property of benzene. Regarding bond length, all the bonds in benzene structure, they are equivalent, and if we look at these two structures, okay, this structure shows that neither these bonds are neither these carbons are single bonded nor they are double bonded. Okay, if carbon and carbon they are single bonded, the bond length is 1.54 angstrom. If they are double bonded, it is 1.34 angstrom. And in case of benzene, the bond length observed, carbon-carbon bond length observed is 1.39 angstrom. This shows the bonds in benzene between these carbons, they are neither single bonded, neither they are double bonded. That is what is the resonance hybrid is. Third, unusual stability. I think we have discussed this part, this particular point many of the times. Unusual stability. Now this unusual stability is because of its resonance energy. And this resonance energy regarding benzene, it is 36 kilocalories per mole. Now due to this, the intermediate structure or the hybrid structure is more stable than these two structures. Now fourth property which we focus, or this valence bond theory explains, is about the type of reaction the benzenes or benzene gives. Okay, now there are pi electrons present in benzene. Okay, but due to its unusual stability and due to resonance, benzene do not give addition reaction. Now what is addition reaction? Addition reactions are the reactions which we discussed or we studied in alkenes and alkynes. Okay, so this is the reaction we must have, you must remember. This is an alkene, and if we add HBr, this HBr will be added across this double bond, so you will get RCH2 CHRBr. This is called as addition reaction. Just because there is presence of a double bond between these two carbons, there is addition of HBr across the double bond. Now such kind of reactions are not observed in benzene even if there is presence of a double bond, because these double bonds in benzene, they are not static, they keep rotating. That is what is called as resonance. Okay, so instead of giving addition reaction, the benzene in this case gives electrophilic substitution reaction. Now this is one of the important property of benzene which can be explained with the help of valence bond theory. Now after valence bond theory, our investigation or our study of this particular structure of benzene leads us to another theory that is called as molecular orbital theory. Let's see that. Now molecular orbital theory, it gives you full description of the benzene ring because it is based on spectroscopic and X-ray analysis. And now according to this, structure of benzene is flat and regular hexagon. So according to molecular orbital theory, structure of benzene is like a regular hexagon. This is what is a regular hexagon look like, and this is on the basis of spectroscopic and X-ray analysis. Okay, 6 carbon atoms, these black are carbon atoms, they are lying in the same plane, and each, now in this case I have not shown you hydrogens, just give me a second. So this is how the benzene structure will look like after putting all the hydrogens. Now according to molecular orbital theory, okay, the carbon hydrogen, this bond angle is 120. Okay, carbon bond length is 1.39 angstrom, and carbon and hydrogen bond length is 1.09 angstrom. Okay, now this suggests this carbon atom in benzene must be in a state of sp2 hybridization. Okay, 2 of these sp2 hybrid orbitals of this carbon, they overlap with sp2 hybrid orbitals of another carbon or neighboring carbon. One sp2 hybrid orbital is overlapping with s orbital of hydrogen to form carbon hydrogen sigma bond. So this is a sigma bond, this is also a sigma bond, this is also a sigma bond. Now what about the fourth valency of carbon? Because we are just talking about sp2 hybridization, that means one of the p orbital of carbon has not participated in this entire sigma bond formation process. So where it is? Now that's the question. Okay, now this lone p orbital is present on each carbon atom in a perpendicular position like this. Okay, on each carbon atom. Okay, it is perpendicular to this plane because all the carbons and all the hydrogens, they are in one plane. The p orbital which has not participated in hybridization, unpaired p electron which is present in a perpendicular position on every carbon atom. So this p orbital can overlap with p orbital of the other carbon atom, and this overlap will be lateral overlapping. It will not be a sigma bond but it will be a pi bond. So if p orbital on this carbon atom can overlap on p orbital of this carbon as well as p orbital of this carbon, so it has choices. So double bond formation can be between these two carbons or these two carbons. Now this helps, or this suggests, whatever two structures we have drawn of benzene, they are actually true because those are the possibilities. So this is what I am talking about. These are the p orbitals perpendicular to the plane of the benzene ring, here and here. Okay, now I will number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P orbital on carbon 1 can overlap with p orbital of on carbon number 2. Similarly, it can overlap here. This is the second option. Okay, now p orbital on third carbon can overlap with fourth carbon, p orbital of fourth carbon. Now in this case, this third will overlap with second. 5 and 6, they will overlap. In this case, 5 and 4, they overlap. And this is what is the structure we have drawn up till now to represent benzene. This is our first structure and this is our second structure. And what we are telling? The exact structure of benzene is combination or hybrid of these two. Because these pi bonds, they are not static, but they keep on rotating. And molecular orbital theory gives you exact explanation of this. These pi electrons or these pi electrons, they are delocalized. That is the reason of its unusual stability. And if we exactly go according to molecular orbital theory, that explains the pi electron cloud. This is a pi electron cloud. It is present above the plane and below the plane. Remember, okay, the pi electron cloud, this is the structure of benzene. All the carbons, so pi electrons present above the plane as well as below the plane, and the benzene structure is sandwiched between the pi electrons. This is how the pi electrons will cover the entire structure of benzene. Okay, this is called as pi electron cloud above and below the plane of benzene. Okay, now molecular orbital theory also gives you some characteristics of benzene, some important features of benzene. I will call it. The first structure is the flat ring structure. The structure of benzene, all the carbons and hydrogens, they are present on one plane. All carbon atoms, they are sp2 hybridized. Okay, all the carbons and hydrogens, they are present on one plane. Carbon-carbon hydrogen bond length is 120 degrees. So it is a planar molecule, a flat molecule. Second, regarding its bond length, we already discussed. Carbon-carbon bond length is, in case of benzene, it is 1.39 angstrom. Carbon-hydrogen bond length is 1.09 angstrom. This is again one of the important information given by molecular orbital theory. So third one is regarding isomer number. Now what this molecular orbital theory talks about isomer number? According to this theory, all the carbon atoms of benzene are completely equivalent. Hydrogen atoms attached to these will be also equivalent. Hence, benzene should form only one monosubstituted and 3 disubstituted compound. So it is singing the same tunes as per the valence bond theory. Fourth property or characteristic, that is unusual stability. Now this talks about resonance energy of benzene, 36 kilocalories per mole, similar to valence bond theory. Okay, and last one, that is electrophilic reaction or electrophilic substitution. Okay, now in this, benzene ring is surrounded by pi electrons above and below. Okay, so it attracts electron seeking reagents, that is electrophiles. We just said the pi electron cloud is present above and below this benzene ring. Okay, so the pi electrons, they are loosely bound to the carbon. Okay, these are sigma electrons. Okay, they are tightly bound to carbon. Pi electrons, they are loosely bound to the carbon. So any electrophile coming from outside will grab those electrons or will attack on those electrons. So benzene undergoes electrophilic substitution reaction. Okay, so this is regarding molecular orbital theory. So this explains entirely the structure of benzene. Now in the next video we'll discuss how to use Huckel rule to identify the given any given compound, whether it is aromatic, non-aromatic or anti-aromatic. So see you in the next video. Thank you.